So here goes. This is it. This is our front. This is my natural habitat. Yuccas grow, they grow. If the mesquite grows, it grows. All the weeds are going to be cut back now that all the wildflowers are pretty much spent, so I can get another layer of wildflowers in. This is my Queen of Hearts, and she's very, very sad. For years, she's always put off these ponds that look like hearts. That's why her name's that. Anyway, she has, and I'm not going to be able to find a patch of them anywhere, probably because of the rains. She has these god-awful bugs all over her, and as you can see, they are just wiping this plant out. And I read in one of the local xeriscape groups that one gardener breaks out DEET to battle these things. Well, I ain't fixing to break out no DEET. But since vegetables are going in on the other side of this fence, I have no choice but to cut the cactus out in order to get rid of the infestation of bugs. So that makes me sad this year. I'm gonna try to harvest some pads if I can. All the fruit's probably gonna be gone and won't be salvageable. And I'm gonna get as many of those little heart ones as I can. Okay, so everything's overgrown with weeds here in lovely West Texas. Got new neighbors going in over here. He's clearing everything out. Hoping to get that tree shaped back up. Here's another native patch. Yuccas are edible, and the kids did not manage to pick this one clean, so hopefully we'll get some pods off of it so we can see about harvesting the seeds out of it. Okay, well, here's the ugly. Lots of ugly. Taylor just had to cut that mesquite down. That's our pile of junk, trash, yard waste. Apparently people decided to start throwing trash in it too. That's my Chinese pistache tree. It's about 15 years old. There's my little $9 apple tree that I'm going to summer over in that nice big pot. My little pot of pretties and a big pile of tree cuttings, because we've been trimming. That tree got a pretty harsh trim for a mistake that happened last year. And then like the elms back there, they're all going to come out. So anyway, let's walk around this trash pile. Here's my collection spot of stuff I've started. And see all the little wild chamomile? It's so pretty. I like it when it's a bud. It's all pink swirls. Okay, so this is our squash and apple orchard. That apple tree that was in that pot's eventually going to make a home back over here. But I only had this section already raised up and beefed up. I just mulched these 3 in today because they just kept sapping out with water. Even with rains last night, this afternoon, they looked like they was falling over. So there's our first little garden right there. The boys love the apple tree. They think it's just awesome. They're not really understanding that they're probably not going to eat off of it this year though. That back there in the corner is a Spanish broom. It puts off these real pretty little yellow flowers that smell amazing. There's more of that wild chamomile in and amongst all the weeds. So I'm going to follow this curved bed because that right there is 250 feet. So I'm going to do that all the way around this way, this corner, and eventually that'll be closed back up and it'll be over there. So all this is going to be Huguenot. I cannot say the word. Anyway, we're taking out the top layer, putting limbs back down in, recovering it with the topsoil, and then composting on top of it to build it all up. This is our only little raised bed here. This is our little veggie patch. We have some zinnia, cherry tomato, nacho pepper, a mammoth pepper, some little serranos, one little bitty straggling dill plant. I don't know what the deal is with that. The radishes just didn't take off like they did in the kiddie pool over at Mom's. It's a purple Cherokee tomato. It's doing good. Something got in there and killed. There used to be one okra right there. I got to get a new one in the spot. But there's our Clemson spineless okra down the back. And yeah, I think I need to crowd it in a little bit more with some stuff, but I'm still waiting on a few seedlings to get a little bit bigger. I do have ants in the bed, and so I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, okay, so over here is more junk and kid stuff in the back half of that nasty looking pile. And a peach tree. So this thing that my ex attempted, I just don't know. I haven't decided. First we said garden shed, then we said coop, then we said greenhouse, and I just don't know because none of it's even. It's built with two different materials for the post, and my OCD, if that was a greenhouse, I just don't think I could handle seeing all the oddness underneath, I guess. I don't know, I'm weird. I'm just really weird. Okay, so let's walk back around this way. Oh no, I didn't just drink a beer. If you saw that in the shot, somebody left this for us. Our front native little area seems to, on a regular basis, grow trash and beer cans. The gate even grew a beer bottle one time. Really interesting. Can't figure out how anybody managed to get that done. My little minuscule pallet supply. I gotta get a lot more of those. A whole lot more. Put that down. My chair. Xavier's elephant ear. He's just absolutely in love with this. That leaf is huge. This is Messy Boys because there's water bottles on the ground, and then there's more of those beer cans we find. This is just a little ornamental patch. I love Japanese Aurelia. I just think the leaves are beautiful. That red plant was my birthday present from the boys. Here's some of them seedlings I was talking about that still have to all get put in the ground or give it away to homes. There's my three sisters and my watermelon. That would probably be the last of the stuff I put in the ground this year because it's fixing to be hot here in West Texas. Really hot. So, alright. That's our little tiny house. See, in the middle of trying to do this adventure, we're doing gardens. We're finally cleaning up our half-acre of land and getting it ready to homestead, which is something I've dreamed about since I was a young girl. But we're also having to completely finish out a 14 by 32 building for us to live in. So, yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I think I have too much stuff going on. So, this was my pond out here, excuse me. But I have boys and kids that didn't listen. And they killed the habitat in it. And then they just started throwing stuff in it. So now that big beautiful piece of EBDM liner is ruined and I have to be redone. All that deck's going to get pulled out. I want to put berry bushes, some pecan trees, that kind of stuff kind of out here. We have some ornamentals going on because, well, I just like to have the pretty plants, not just for the pollinators but for us. Xavier calls this grass hair. It's absolutely hilarious, but it's so pretty, and I'm so happy because I almost killed it, and I didn't. In a little bitty time, it's so pretty. Had it with dinner the other night when I cooked the kids' goat for the first time, and they didn't know it. So over here, we have more piles. This was another pile that got started in our yard. And there was a burn pile underneath it, as you can see. So I've been pulling it out and cleaning it up. This is the actual pile of trash. It's going to have to go to the dumpster. That pile still got to be gone through. This pile is material that I actually was breaking down and using over in the squash beds. That's what's underneath. That's part of the bottom layer of that over there. So it does look so much different when it's mowed out here. We got our first compost pile going with all the clippings from when little man Alex mowed the other day. There's the famous rosemary bushes. Years ago I put them in and I did back to Eden garden and I didn't even know it. And they are just amazing. They're never watered except for rainwater we get here. Since the first year they were put in the ground. and it works. That's how come I've determined that that's what's going to happen out here. Okay, here's a quick peek at the back 40. It's a mess. This is where I want to put livestock. This half, and over there on the other side of the yard where the wooden fence is, that whole big backyard. Do a high-end tunnel in our swimming pool hole and livestock in the back. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go back to Eden and start collecting my wood chips, and I'm just going to bury out this whole pond area. This all right here is gonna be raised beds. This is gonna be grapes for Taylor, built up on that. Got a friend that said he'd come help me get some legs welded up on it and get it going so we can get some grapes in this fall. But all this will be our raised beds. I'm pretty much thinking that I can get those pecan trees in. That'll give us a little bit of cutback on the bright sun right through here. So we'll be able to set this up the way we need to. There's the old house. It's going to be Taylor's house eventually when we get the demo on it done. Oh. But, oh, I got to end with this. This is like the awesomest thing. I love sweet potato vine. But those little spiky things are called tuberoses. And I remembered them from being a kid. They smell absolutely amazing. I've grown them in this pot here before, right out smack in the middle of the yard, and they bloomed all summer long. It's going to make you want to have smell-o-vision. Anyway, that's kind of it. It's a mess. It's our mess. We'll get there. We will get there.